Hey everyone, Beat 'em Up Wrestling is back with the AEW friends. We are here to go over two cards, get it right, two pay-per-view cards. We're going over Extreme Rules from WWE and also Slammiversary from Impact. So we're going to tackle WWE because that's still...
Wait, hold on. Hold on.
What?
We're doing a non-AEW show.
Yes.
But that sounds contradictory. I mean, we're the AEW friends. I mean, this is...
it's wrestling.
AEW friends and Jack. Don't forget Jack.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, I'm not.
He's important here too.
Yeah.
We're the AEW Alliance right now.
Okay.
Okay. Empower. Okay. We got librarians, we got the friends, and we got the Beat 'em Up Alliance with AEW. But yeah, we're gonna review this card to show that we do watch the other programs. We're not just AEW fans are not just one program people. We watch everything. New Japan, we watch everything. ROH, we watch everything. Okay, so anyways. Yeah. So getting into Extreme Rules. It starts off with their opening match, Kevin Owens and Murphy. Which to me, if I had to pick a match of the night, it would have to be maybe between this one and one other one because it was the actual only one match we had almost. Besides the tag team match, I would say.
Yeah.
They did not deserve the pre-show.
They did not.
But Kevin Owens.
No. He's both of them are too good for the pre-show. I'm sorry. They're both so incredibly talented.
And let's not forget, Kevin Owens, beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania technically twice because of the disqualification.
Mm-hmm.
And what's happened since then? Nothing. So, go creative.
I mean, he's KO for a reason. He's kickoff Owens.
Well, I kicked out.
My reaction, I didn't know like I said, I've been following the card leading up to here. I didn't see him on the card. I just turned on looking to see what time the pre-show started, and they're like, pre-show Kevin Owens, and I'm like, eh?
Right.
The match was good. I can't really complain about the match. I just wish it wasn't on the kickoff. I don't understand that. But anyways, I'm not really sure the order. I'm trying to remember the order of this. I think we get into the tag team match, right?
Tag team match was first.
The New Day and Shinsuke kicked off the show.
Yeah, Shinsuke, Nakamura, Cesaro versus the New Day. If you would have told me 3 hours ago that they were going to beat New Day, I would have laughed.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not expecting them to actually win it.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about this because on one hand, as I've noted on other shows, the New Day is like the default. If we need a new tag team champion, give it back to the New Day. Yeah. And the tag team division as a whole and all of WWE, and I'm including NXT on this, is just a joke. It's a joke. And this proves it because yes, I know Shinsuke and Cesaro have been together since Sammy put them together as the Artist Collective months ago, but they shouldn't be tag team champions. And this is, if we're being honest here, this isn't just insulting for Shinsuke, it's insulting for Cesaro, who hasn't held a singles title, to my recollection, since his last United States title reign, 7 years ago?
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I found this to be like a double-edged sword because, on the one hand, I wasn't expecting this result, but on the other hand, I like Shinsuke.
I love Shinsuke.
And he has a belt.
Yeah, that's what I was.
So it's like, I want Shinsuke to hold a belt. Oh, not like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but at this point, though, the WWE tag team belts don't really mean anything.
Exactly.
They're not even. They don't even boost you up or anything. It's just. It's just.
They're there.
Yeah, like I was telling Jack, I was like, I went upstairs real quick, and he's like, "Guess who won?" And I said, "No, I missed it. I didn't think they were gonna win." Francis get something to drink, and then I missed them winning. And I was telling him it's sad because if you don't follow WWE and you were to ask me, who do you think the tag team titles are, held by, I would either say New Day or the Usos.
Yep.
That's usually what the go-to is, and it's sad because like you said, Todd, there's other people, there's other tag teams in there, but they don't really hold much.
Yeah.
Why?
It's pathetic. And then what made me mad about the match was that the match was solid enough. They had some weird botches and some really close calls with timing and all that. But then the end was like Kofi's dominating, puts Cesaro in the corner, and then Cesaro powerbombs him and it's over. I'm like, wait, where was Big E? Oh, and then they show a pan of Big E on the thing. Like, how did he get there? That doesn't make sense. And just
okay. I don't like table matches to begin with because it's just you win the match by breaking somebody through a table. Like it's just.
Yeah, it's always a weird like fake build up, a fake out, and you're like, no.
Yeah.
The next match, if correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was Bayley versus Nikki Cross.
It was.
Yeah, for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Once again, I haven't been following it. I was confused by why Kyrie and Asuka were giving Nikki like, you can do this. I didn't understand that. The match was okay. Bayley's a good wrestler. I don't know how I feel about this one either.
This match was a slog. I mean, Bayley can go. Nikki has shown it, but like there was a line in there, I think it was by Byron or Cole, or I don't remember, but they said some people are thinking that Nikki, it's not her time. It's still too young in her career. I'm like, what the freak is that? Okay, she's been on the show for years. She was part of NXT and did a really good match. She's including an awesome I think it was like a last woman standing match against Asuka, which was a bomb, like in a good way. It was a blast. And then it's like, she's too young. It's not her time. What the frick is that? That's like
my
demeaning.
issue with this match was like, I was going into it with the mentality with like, there's no way Bayley's gonna lose the title to Nikki.
No, absolutely.
And I hate saying that because Nikki is really talented and so is Bayley, but it's just like the way this match is built up, and again how they just kind of smush everything together. It was just kind of like, I know Bayley's gonna win this. So
the stupidity of it is that Bayley beat her, I think, around this time last year. Yeah, that's how long Bayley's been champ. She beat Alexa, and then she slowly turned heel, and then this all happened. Oh gosh.
Yeah, my issue with this, like I think the actual in-ring action wasn't that bad. It's just Nikki as a baby face, like, doesn't work for me. Like her mannerisms and all that stuff, it's like she's supposed to be like crazy, like how like Jon Moxley was Dean Ambrose in WWE, and he was supposed to be this crazy person. Yeah. And being crazy kind of doesn't work for babyface. And then her having Alexa Bliss in her corner just kind of like, I think it hurts her more. She was so strong with sanity.
And Bliss never comes off as a full face.
Yeah.
She's never comes off as a full baby.
Oh, really?
Isn't Nikki supposed to be the person who would have lost her sanity?
I hate you.
Oh my God. Do I need to start another counter? I'll start another counter. One.
Yeah.
It would, if you want to do it, Caro, by all means, it would be a moment of bliss.
Come on, look, my camera doesn't even want to focus because it hurt that. It got injured. No, but if you really want
you're really being a role model here.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to puns, I'm the boss.
I hate all you. All you. No, but if you really want to,
I'm the man when it comes to making puns too. So I.
No. But to be the man, you got to beat the man.
6.
Yeah.
All right.
Next match.
Next match.
No, real quick. I think if they would have made sense with this match is if it would have been against the once tag team champions. It should have been actually Bayley versus Kyrie, and that would have been an amazing match.
Yes.
In potential. Because as we saw in the next one's match, things always can go wrong in WWE.
It can go wrong, but it would have made sense. It would have made sense because both girls were out there at the same time in ring defending each other, defending their besties. I think it would have been a cool play on something, but it just would have been better. Anyways, I think this is when we get into the Apollo Crews MVP thing. Yes, he doesn't show up. Yeah, he doesn't show up, so supposedly MVP takes the title.
Let's just skip this. That was just stupid.
So this is just 1 out of 2 times that we get a championship given to somebody, and we're not really sure if they're actually the champion.
Yeah.
So he takes a championship. Apollo Crews is in there. He basically does himself the United States champion, and we will find out more. Is he on Monday or is he on Friday?
Monday. He's on Monday.
We'll find more tomorrow.
I think the best part of this is how MVP keeps on calling Bobby Lashley Robert or Roberto.
I just want to know that MVP said he was going to retire after the Royal Rumble. He said he even had that match against Rey Mysterio. He's like, I'm glad that I could end it against one of my friends. And now he's apparently a champion. So
No, he felt the fire again. He lied.
Yeah.
Big lie.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be an eye for an eye match.
No, don't.
Are we
there? You know you never truly leave the business.
No, we're not there. We're okay, now we're getting to Asuka versus Sasha for the
No,
Raw.
no,
that
the
was
eye
later.
for an eye match came first.
Eye for an eye was first.
I thought it was after that.
No, because that was the palate cleanser. That was the palate cleanser after the eye for an eye.
I remember nothing.
No.
I am so damaged at this point.
Yeah. Here, I'll take it from
was
here.
Was the pay-per-view really that bad?
Yes.
Listen,
For me,
Yes,
because like I'm tired of getting like crapped on by people for liking AEW and having this not loyalty to a brand, but feeling like actual like happiness when I go to their shows, not being so disgruntled at all the writing, not feeling everything is a fake out. Like this was horrible. Like the 25-cent eyeball that they got from like the Jewel Osco container that Rey Mysterio had. Why didn't you throw on the wall and it slithers down by itself? That's all he had in his hand.
Yeah. So allow me to break down everything that's wrong with the match. It'll take 45 minutes, but I'll try and go fast. I'm kidding. It'll only take like 45 seconds. First of all, this was a 4-star match in Potentia. They were doing great moves, like the destroyer onto the plexiglass was awesome. They were doing it back and forth, but the eye for the eye gimmick was so dumb. Okay. Oh, I'm going to get this slipping in and I'm going to use pliers. I'm going to use rebar, which it's hilarious that only Samoa Joe knew what rebar was. It's like, is that metal? It's rebar, idiots. And,
I'll be right back, guys. Keep going.
By all means, it's going to be a while. So then let's talk about the fact that even the announcers noted that WWE would never have sanctioned a match like this before because it's too brutal, too violent, too whatever. And so it's like, then why are they doing it now? And notice they had an out. They could have made this an unsanctioned match and just done whatever the frick they wanted because by the rules, they can't be held liable. But no, this is an officially sanctioned eye for an eye match. Yeah, goody. Ugh. Also, crowd. The crowd is cheering for someone to lose an eye, which means they're basically complicit in not just assault, but torture.
I was honestly disappointed because I thought they were going to like CGI an eyeball to come out. And I was going into this match expecting that, but no, they just pulled the cheap
even the Wrestling Observer, which is your 15% wrong right there, was like, oh, they're going to probably do this with CGI. I thought this was a cinematic match. And it felt like it was going to be, or like they would start in the ring and then go backstage and then that would be like the filmed bit. And then they have like the prone body with like an eye coming down. Like that would have been kind of cool. It would have been gross. I'm not going to lie, but it would have been cool except for this. And if you actually like watch the moment where the eye came out, you could see that the pressure is not on the eye. It's like right on the bridge of the nose. And then Seth like relents and it's just like, that's when Ray goes, I need the doc. And it's like,
it's out.
It's out. And then Karo's favorite moment happened.
No, it's not my favorite moment. No.
He threw up.
Like
really?
Seth Rollins just started, I don't know, dry heaving, vomiting like all over the floor. And I'm just like, ew. Okay, so for context, I DoorDashed a black bean burger with sweet potato fries. And it was supposed to come during that match. That got delayed. So I'm glad it got delayed because otherwise I would have lost my appetite watching that because, ew. Gross.
I had a Subway sandwich. I didn't see the vomiting, so my appetite's intact, and I have a DQ Blizzard waiting for me after the show. Yeah.
Nice. I got ice cream too after
There
this.
You go. So it's like, why does this match exist? And then it's like, oh, Seth Rollins felt bad afterwards.
Yeah, it's a babyface turn.
Again. It's like, I have seen the light. It just took me to, get rid of a man's eye. And notice, here's the other problem with that. Which eye did they take out?
The injured one.
Exactly, which is not what he said he would do because he was trying to blind Rey Mysterio forever. And even the announcers were like, he's never going to see his son graduate. He's never going to see his wife again. He's never going to see his sunset. And then he go for the injured eye that was already blinded. So, wrong?
Didn't know that the custody for Dominic would turn into an eye for an eye match, but...
Yes. I am your puppy.
No! You're horrible.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, but I agree though. This match was actually really good. Like, other than the announcers constantly reminding us that somebody's eye had to be gouged out to win. Like, if you just ignored them for the longest, like they actually had some really good Extreme Rules match.
And that was the worst part was that if this was just say a grudge match or like if they promised, like here's the easy fix. They promised once I beat you, I'm going to take your eye out. That's your leeway. You win the match, hook or by crook, and then you do the eye gouging thing. That's it. You're done. That's perfect.
Or what about actually having like an Extreme Rules match, like the title of the pay-per-view?
Yeah. Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
This is extreme though.
Yeah. Extremely bad. Which brings us to our next match, which, by the way, we actually had. I want to make an Owen Hart joke here, but I won't. So the next match was Asuka versus Sasha for the SmackDown Women's title. No, sorry, Raw Women's title. Sorry. And this match was actually good for about 98% of the time because Asuka's awesome. She's my waifu in WWE. And Sasha is awesome. She's a boss, no doubt. This was exactly what I wanted it to be. Hard hitting, lots of good moves. There were a few botches, not gonna lie. Included a very odd knee drop by Sasha in the corner near the end. That was just awkward. I'm like, what happened there? And then Asuka just like fake falling. Like, great.
Then she slips from the rope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this. Oh, do you want to just go ahead?
No, keep going, please.
Okay, so I saw this really cool Twitter video. I didn't catch this until like after the show, but apparently there was a moment where Asuka and Sasha are just lying down on the ring, and they're like massaging each other, like massaging each other's like head just to make sure that they're okay.
I saw
and I'm
that.
like, wow,
yeah,
that's really great.
That was.
They're taking care of each other
as they should.
And then Sasha's extensions kind of get messed up too because she keeps on holding down her head the whole time. Because I think like there was a time where they were going back and forth rolling up each other, and then her hair got stuck underneath Asuka's knee and it got pulled.
Yeah,
so
I'm not surprised. Like Becky, Sasha, Charlotte, especially like the extensions. I'm like, really fine. But again, once you got to that, once you hit that 99th% of the match, everything went to crap. I'm like, why? Bayley, like the fake out with the belts, I knew that was going to happen, and then like it didn't work. I'm like, okay, this is cool. Then Asuka's walking up behind. I'm like, okay, she's going to go for the Asuka lock and win. No, the green missed. I'm like, okay, now she's going to hit him with the belts, but then that wasn't working because the ref was still down, and then Bayley pulls his shirt off and decides to be the frick was that?
But did you guys notice that the ref also botched there? Because when Bayley throws in,
what happened?
So Bayley throws in her belt.
One at a time.
He goes to pick up the belt, and Bayley's coming up, and then he just looks at her, but then turns around and tries to get rid of the belt.
I did catch that. I did catch that.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's like that was the dumbest thing. And then she's trying to say like, ring the bell, and the ring person's like, you're not the ref. Ring the dang bell. Like, it's so wrong. And this is why I mentioned the whole embarrassing Asuka thing in our Twitter chat, was that she had the streak, lost it to Charlotte. That was fine. Then she comes back and goes after the title with Carmella. And why does she lose it? Because of? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Him. Yes. I won't even say his name because it was disgraceful. But she lost to Carmella twice because of him, which was a disgrace. Then she finally wins it because of Ronda Rousey, and then she loses it to Charlotte, and then does the weird tag team thing. Fine, whatever. Finally gets the belt back because Becky gets pregnant, which is that's not an insult to Becky. That's just what happened. And ever since then, they have made her the least dominant champion ever. She couldn't beat Charlotte without an injury. Charlotte getting injured. She couldn't beat Nia clean outside of cheap tricks and countouts, and now she can't even beat Sasha because of a fake referee. Yeah. This is supposed to be the most dominant woman on the planet.
And why did she go for a miss? She's the babyface.
Yeah, exactly. She's the babyface now. Yeah, I mean, it was one thing when she was ruining Sasha's match because that was, payback. But, oh gosh.
Yeah. You were gonna say something, Maria. What were you gonna say about this match?
Oh no, just a ref. How he was like looking on the side of the ring, like there's spectators there, or somebody distracting him from actually what was inside the ring.
Yeah.
Twice.
No,
yeah. Sorry for my walkout.
Yeah. That's just you're just symbolizing this night. We wanted to walk out.
I mean, to walk out.
I mean, it sums up everything. No, it's job and everything happening on the world affecting my job. But I was trying to get into the vibe of this match, but I was still kind of disgusted about the match before this one.
Yeah.
It was,
it wasn't the eye gouge though that disgusted you.
It was the puking.
Yeah.
It was like, I was like not even ready for that. I was like, that was more disgusting. It should have been first person to puke. It wins the match. That would have been like, okay, I would have been ready for it.
My question with that, not to like harp on this topic any further, but the thing that was going through my mind is, how did Seth make himself like vomit like that?
It's actually easier than you think.
Yeah.
That's where the CGI came in.
And that's the best CGI WWE's ever done, if you're gonna say that.
Well, no, actually, I would say that was the Firefly Funhouse match because it allowed John Cena to embrace his inner self because you can't see him anymore.
I know, right?
Oh wow.
Next match.
Yes,
Drew
please.
McIntyre and Dolph
Ugh.
for the WWE Championship. I mean, Dolph he's okay. So first off, Dolph he never hardly puts out a good match. He's a damn good wrestler.
Mhm.
He's
He
a
is.
hard worker. He's dedicated to his craft. He never really botches things. He takes care of the other opponent. I really feel like Dolph. I always feel like right when he has great momentum, something happens. He gets hurt. Somebody thinks he's a joke. They just do this weird swerve with the storyline, and it just destroys his momentum.
They just keep crapping on him. And this is another great example. He could have put on, he was never going to win, but he could have put on, again, a 4-star match at least, especially with how Drew's been in the ring recently. And then he goes, this is going to be an Extreme Rules match. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of anticlimactic. For me only. Okay, slightly better. And, oh dear gosh, here we go. And it's like, all the stipulations. It's like, how Drew going to win? I know how he's going to win. It's called Claymore. That's simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's called that. It's writing in WWE. He wasn't going to lose the belt. You know, like
to be fair though, I think that right now, from all the champions across promotions, Drew has been the best champion. And
I would go one of the best. I'm being honest here because Drew has been consistently good. He's been consistently performing on the mic and in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
But I also got to question some of his opponents. Like, I don't know, Big Show 20 minutes after winning the belt. Like, really? And then this match did him no favors because it's like, he was a resilient champion. He beat Bork Laser. That's what I call Brock Lesnar. He beat Bork Laser after taking like how many F5s? So it was like we already knew he was resilient. It wasn't like one chair shot was going to kill him. So, yeah.
But one thing I love about Drew being champion, I just love the heart that he has. Like, do you get what I'm saying with like the heart of being a champion? Like, he's legit. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like he's tough. He knows how to work, but he's also like wholesome.
Yeah. You want him to win.
He's very resilient.
Yeah. You want him to win.
It's everything Roman Reigns championship should have been. Like,
it wasn't
what it was, but they never. It's like. The older people don't like Roman because they feel like you're forcing everybody to like Roman. But the kids like Roman, and they have the younger generation who loves Roman. But for some reason, people just want to crap on Roman.
Well, it's
exactly.
It's like you said, he was shoved down our throats at a time we didn't want him to. If they did the slow burn like they should have, or like they did when he came back from his chemotherapy, where he didn't get a title shot for a very long time,
Made him a joke.
No, that wasn't a joke. That was the smartest move they did because if he came back and instantly got the title, we would have been like, we love Roman. We're glad he beat cancer, but here we go again. That was his problem. He's a 5-time champ with like incredibly short title reigns. He was an Intercontinental Championship that did nothing. A tag team championship was his only, somewhat good one, and he had Seth with him there. So he just kept getting shoved down our throats, and everyone was being sacrificed to Roman so that he could be the next John Cena, which is not what we wanted. We, the people, wanted. So, and yes, it was a good idea about a creative. It should never be talked about again.
Yeah.
His title reigns are like Sasha's title reigns, though. They're forgettable.
Yeah. There you go.
But I'm saying, like, the title reign that would have made something is when he did come back, when he beat cancer, not having him try to eat dog food.
Yeah, that was.
What I'm trying to say, like it was
that angles.
That was.
It was a horrible angle. You know what I mean? Like the best angle he had, like leading up to everything, was the destruction of the Shield.
They should have kept them away from Baron Corbin.
Yeah,
no.
Everybody.
Right.
Karen Corbin.
All right. So we finally get into what is the Wyatt swamp fights of Braun and Bray. For a second there, when I saw the Extreme Rules logo came up, I thought we were having like a Lord of the Rings ending. I thought it ended and then it came back, and I got confused. I was like, did it not come back? And I don't know. I didn't like the cliffhanger that they had. I'm not gonna I probably will figure out what happens online, but I'm not sure if I'm that invested to tune in unless the title is on the line. Then maybe I'll care a little more.
Baron Corbin is dead.
He's not.
They killed him.
Bro, you mean Braun Strowman?
Braun. Don't say things that we actually want. Okay.
Braun Strowman died. We saw the blood. We saw the gators. He's dead.
No.
I feel like creatively Bray is like, I don't know, he's kind of a gem when it comes to things. Like the story arcs, the full workaround with characters that no one really appreciates. It's kind of wasted.
No. Hold on. Don't say no one. It's one.
Yeah, I know.
One man is ruining Bray Wyatt. And I'm not saying that the swamp match, swamp fight, whatever, was bad. It was horrible. But it was hardly the worst thing they've done. It's just that he is so over right now, especially even without the crowd. You can still tell that fans want the best for the Fiend. And you knew that this was going to be an escalation. We started out with Mr. Rogers, Bray Wyatt, which was fine. Then they brought back, got the whole world in my hands. That was cool.
Yeah,
and then this happened, and now we're going to get Braun Fiend. That's the natural escalation, and I can appreciate that to an extent. Did we need this swamp fight, though? No, especially when 5 to 6 minutes of it was not fighting, was talking.
Yeah.
It's a swamp chat.
Yeah.
Swamp chat with Bray Wyatt.
Everybody wants to always praise them for cinematic fights and all that stuff, but this was I think one of their worst ones.
Yeah, I actually I know Bray always has great ideas. I appreciate what Bray brings to the WWE in terms of his creative ideas, but I'm just thinking back to the Graveyard match, the Firefly Funhouse match, and debatably the Money in the Bank match, sort of. And I know y'all are mixed with that, but anyway, the point is, this is one of their weaker cinematic matches.
Yeah.
Compared to the Money in the Bank one, I'll take that one over this one any day.
Mm-hmm.
I would take this over Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank was a dumpster fire in every way. Where is the briefcase? It's on the roof. We all know it's on the roof.
But at least they're fighting. Like there was fighting in there, and there was some good parts between like Brian and like AJ. Like there was some good stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can say that about any match. Oh, there was this one good spot.
No, there was really nothing that was good in this theatrical one. Like I tried, like I liked him going back to old Bray Wyatt. That was cool and everything like that. But compared, like you said, Carl, to like the Firefly Funhouse, which was like I thought was kind of genius in some ways. And especially the Boneyard. There was a match.
The Boneyard was great. Boneyard is top.
No, the Firefly Funhouse match I could write an entire thesis about. Like,
yeah,
if I was going to college and, like, I was studying wrestling, I would write a whole thesis on that match. But compared to that match, the Swamp match, like, again, just didn't really hit it out of the ballpark that much. Though I will say the Sister Abigail spot was pretty cool.
I hated that for a very simple reason. If you didn't remember the mixed match challenge, you'd be like, wait a minute, when were Braun and Alexa together? I had to think about.
But the mixed match challenge at the same time, that wasn't too long ago either. I felt like that was like 2018, 2017.
I was like, it's at least 27. That's like 3 years ago. And it's just like,
it's called long-term storytelling.
Which I appreciate to an extent, but it's like come back, Braun. It's like, okay, first of all, Alexa, really? Second of all, why would Braun be swayed by this? He hasn't been with her 3+ years. I mean, it was different with Bray because, I am your father, creator, whatever you want to call it. That's the long-term storytelling I do appreciate. I'm home. That was cool. Fine. But, gosh.
I just think, like, Braun's acting throughout this whole thing kind of, like, killed it for me. He made some weird faces, like when he was facing himself. Like they pulled the Undertaker versus Undertaker 1994, but they put Braun versus Braun.
Yeah.
And then he set a dude on fire and started laughing.
Yeah, I was like, so let's recap. In a single pay-per-view, we had torture and assault and attempted murder.
Also, the eyeballs that were inside the jar in this vignette were better than the ones Mysterio had in it.
I thought those were pickled.
I still have yet to find like a still shot of the eye from that match.
Yeah, there was like a jar, and one was like kind of like moving still, and it looked like it was the iris. But I pay attention to little details as
yeah.
I thought they were pickled eggs.
Yeah, and I think we're missing out on the true MVP of this fight. It was the boat. It made deliveries faster than Amazon. That's impressive.
During a pandemic.
During a pandemic.
It's not the best. It's not the best wrestling boat. The best wrestling boat is still the dilapidated boat from the final deletion match.
I know. I almost wonder. If that was intentional counter programming, because it's like, oh, he's in the boat, and the first thing I thought was like, is that a dilapidated boat? Is it the ultimate deletion? So I almost wanted Braun to say, it's time to delete you, Bray. Like that would have been horrible, but I would have at least appreciated it. See?
Have you guys watched Ed Wood?
Yeah.
So this match reminded me of Ed Wood.
I can see why. Yeah.
It just
like footage.
Like the whole,
Like
a bunch of stock footage was used. They had that swamp fight. I was expecting them to fight like an octopus in the swamp, and somebody said like, "Hey, we don't have the motor, and you have to like throw the tentacles around," and it was just really corny for me. The Alexa part for me also was kind of weird. It's like, so wait, are we seeing into Braun's mind, and he has a thing for Alexa? Like,
yeah,
that was something that was kind of hinted in the mixed tag team challenge, if I remember correctly, from a few years ago.
Slightly,
and then they kind of just dropped it.
Yeah. Which made it all the weirder for me. And then there was like there were these jump cuts that made like no sense, like when he got bit by the snake and he screams and all of a sudden he's by the fire. How did he get there? I was like, oh, it's Bray Wyatt magic. Why? He was tied up in chains and clearly couldn't get out. And why was Bray Wyatt so far away from Braun when he was tied up to a chair?
This actually didn't happen. He was just on shrooms in a room the whole time.
Yeah.
Wait, Braun or Vince McMahon?
Both.
Okay.
Oh my god.
This is such good stuff.
Anyways, if we have to rate this,
F.
You want to do a letter grade? Are we doing letters now? Okay, we have to rate it by letters, A through F.
Okay, if you want, I'll go numbers. I'll go letters. I'll go whatever you want.
You said F, so you can't take it back. So is it F? Are you a hard fail?
I'll be generous. I'll give it a D-, because there was like I said, there was the pre-show match, which shouldn't have been on the pre-show. The tag team match could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
And there was good wrestling in spots, but the endings 9 times out of 10 were horrible. And it's like, and again, the swamp fight was what exactly? I mean, what?
Yeah. Cara?
I'm a nice grader.
Embrace the hate.
I gave it a C.
Okay.
There was good wrestling on the show. Like the entire show wasn't bad to the point where I have to give it an F or a D. There was some good wrestling, but Seth Rollins vomiting, the eyes, the finish to the Raw Women's Championship match, Kevin Owens being on the pre-show, bumps it down to like C. Let's do C-.
There you go. Embrace the hate.
All right, Jack.
So I was gonna give it a C+, and I'm probably gonna stay there because I did like the in-ring action. It's some of the best in-ring action that I've seen from the W. I think that like there was some seeds of storytelling being put in there, but the endings did ruin it for me. Like if they would have just gotten out of their own way, this would have been a really solid pay-per-view. Also, being themed horror show and we're in July, it's kind of weird for me. Like it's just
being a themed horror show and how we're in the year 2020.
Yeah.
Being a themed horror show and having a color scheme from the 80s was
a graphic.
Yeah,
purple and blue for some reason.
If you're gonna call it a horror show, in fact, Jack here has the perfect color scheme. You take it all red. You drip blood. Blood and guts.
Use the chiller font.
Yeah, use a killer font, and
No, chiller. The one that's just basic.
That's the one they use for their horror show part.
Killer? Oh my god!
Yeah.
You really pay no money to get a better font.
No.
Well, that would require effort from Vince.
Yeah, so I'm giving it a C. Mainly, I didn't give it an F because I say the only 2 solid matches brings it up 2 grades to a C, which is the Kevin Owens and the tag team match. I'm going to give Kevin Owens and Murphy a solid because it was a match. There wasn't any BS in it. And I'm also going to give New Day and Cesaro and Shinsuke because it also was a match. Even though it was an Extreme Rules match with the tables, they had a match. And there was no interference. There was no weird crap going on. It was a match.
True.
So yeah, that's my grade's a C. So with that being said, we will talk about Impact Slammiversary briefly, so we don't go too long. But yeah, this was a good pay-per-view. Everybody kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Compared to
it was my first Impact show in years. Like I got out when they went from Spike TV to Destination, I think it was. It was when they were doing the channel hopping. I couldn't watch it anymore, and so that's when I stopped. So, but yesterday was just so weird, which is saying something compared to the pay-per-view I just watched. But I was like, I just need some wrestling in my life. So Slammiversary, totally satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we'll start off with the car, which is MCMG versus the Rascalz. They were the guest announced, right? They didn't have them on the card at all, I believe.
Nope.
It was just an open challenge from the Rascalz, and then the Motor City Machine Guns came back, and oh my gosh.
It was good.
Motor City Machine Guns were so good.
Yeah.
It was a good way to kick off the show. It was high caliber. I don't know too much about them.
The Guns? Or the Rascalz?
No, the Guns.
Okay.
Jack was filling me in a little bit on them, which we were kind of getting onto. That would have helped like a vignette for those who maybe didn't know something going into it afterwards. Yeah. You know, after the challenge, they could have said something about more, because during the match they didn't really say more about their history, especially like we were saying the ROH and I think it was Impact too.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I like the Rascalz. The dynamic was great. I think it was a great toe-to-toe match between the two. It was really good comparison between the both of them. And I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a great way to start off the match.
Yeah, I was with Impact when the Guns were one of the bigger tag teams, and they're really good together. They got a really great like fast-paced feel to them. I didn't know the Rascalz, even though I did know Desmond from Lucha Underground, rest in peace. But this was high octane, good, solid tag team action. See, let me repeat that for you, WWE. Good, solid tag team action. And it was a great way. The Guns are back in Impact. I love that. You know, the Rascalz clearly have a lot of talent. And now on the upcoming Impact, we're going to have the Guns versus certain tag team champions, which we'll be talking about a little bit later. So good, very good match. Great way to start the card.
Yeah, for me, I was super excited that the Guns were back. I remember them after the injury, them Sabian leaving. It was kind of sad. They just had a title shot in IWGP tag team champions with the Young Bucks. They were gonna be competing in ROH for the tag team titles when it all came to an end, an unfortunate end. And just seeing them back in the ring just got me excited. And I think their addition to Impact just makes their tag team division a lot better. Yeah. And it could compete with AEW now. So AEW is not the lone tag team brand anymore. I think Impact has a good tag team division now too.
Yeah. Carol?
Oh, my sound went off for a bit. Hey, that kind of themes in with Slammiversary's audio issues. But aside from that,
long-term storytelling.
Your take on a tag match, real quick.
Hey, Slammiversary still did great regardless of all that stuff that went on. But I had heard of Motor City Machine Guns from one of my friends. So like, she's super into Alex Shelley, so she talks to me about Alex Shelley all the time, and she'd bring up Motor City Machine Guns, and like I checked them out a bit on YouTube before, like, you know, backlogging some matches that I have. So I was just really excited to see Motor City Machine Guns back, and again, Tom mentioned it, great tag team action, fantastic way to start off the show. And I'm kind of tangenting a bit here, but this Impact show was actually like pretty widely advertised. Like I saw so many people talk about it on Twitter and social media, and I just haven't seen that much buzz about Impact in a long time. And just the fact that they were able to not only like widely advertise by this and get a really large base of people to watch last night's show, but to start it off with this amazing tag team match just like gave off a really great first impression for a lot of people.
Now, one of the things I thought was most interesting was that in the numerous previews that I saw, everyone was talking about a former world champion, and then they did like the flashing of the past lives, if you will. The Guns weren't in there. Mm-hmm. No one was talking about the Guns. And then when they came out, you know, Josh Matthews, you know, paid or not, was like, the Guns are back. And it's like, okay, I didn't expect them. I honestly had forgotten it because, you know, I was thinking about Shelley still in NXT with Time Splitters for all of one match. And
one match in January.
One match in January, which they lost. So, yeah. But like that was really well played, because everyone's like thinking EC3 would be Eric, will be Mike and Maria, James Storm, all of them, who's coming back, and no one was talking about the Guns, which made it all the sweeter. So, but yeah, next match.
Next match.
Next. Right.
Tommy Dreamer.
Next match.
Next match.
Next match.
Quick. We had to just acknowledge the dexterity of Tommy Dreamer taking those bad hits.
Yeah.
There was some hits he took to the chair, to the hardest part of the chair, to his face. He immediately swelled up. You could hear him clearly say his face was hurting him. I'm hoping that he's okay. Somebody would punch in their face.
Tommy.
It had to hurt, because that was, he took some. It was careless. There was a couple of parts that I felt were careless. You had to take care of him. He's an older guy. You can sell stuff still with older people, as we've seen with AJ and Undertaker. You still sell stuff. And I thought Tommy Dreamer didn't get the best treatment in this match. And that's all I want to say about it, because I like Tommy Dreamer. I like what he puts out. He puts out a lot of energy. He tries his hardest still. And I cringed, and I didn't want to cringe as much as I did during this match. I
will say the match overall was incredibly underwhelming. The video package for Moose was actually kind of good. I'm like, okay, I want to see this guy wrestle. And then like the match happened, and I'm like, yeah, I don't need to see him again. But there was one shot, and it was cinematography. It's when Moose was trying to lower Tommy into the tacks. And the camera was perfect on Tommy, that you're seeing his eyes like bulge as he's like looking at the tacks.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's like a beautiful shot. That was a horror show in the best way possible. And you're like, come on, Tommy. And then like you see him slowly rise back up, and then it, eventually curtailed after that. But like that shot was beautiful cinematography wise. So I will give credit to that.
Then we get into, I want to say, because I can't remember when.
Gauntlet match.
Yeah.
It's Gauntlet match.
Yeah, this was not a gauntlet.
It was not a gauntlet match.
Okay, let's appreciate something for a second, all right? This was one of the matches that everyone was looking forward to, because it was a gauntlet match. They said specifically it was a gauntlet match. It was going to have the 11 women showcasing the power of the Impact Women's Division, which almost everyone agrees is the best in the world right now, outside of like the dedicated ones like Shimmer or Stardom. And like that was cool. I wanted to see it. It had Kylie, it had Taya, it had Havoc, and all of them. And I was like, okay, this is awesome. And of course, it starts out with Tasha Steelz and Kylie, and I'm into it. And then I see a countdown.
Yeah.
Countdown on the gauntlet match. And then I'm like, oh, okay, they're just going to throw everyone in. It's going to be like elimination style. No, Todd, that would be logical. No, it's an over-the-top rope battle royal until you get to the final two, and then you have to pin them.
Yeah.
How's that a gauntlet match exactly?
Yeah, it would have been so cool if they straight up just did a gauntlet match. Like they started with who were the first two? Kylie Ray and
Tasha Steelz.
And Tasha Steelz. And then Kylie Ray eliminates someone, and the next person comes in, and she eliminates someone, and the next person comes in, and then
yeah, like that's what a gauntlet match is. But that's what we got here. And I'm like, you're supposed to be showcasing the women's division, which they did later on, but it's like everyone was excited for this, and then what we got was a cluster.
Or they could called it a knockout showcase, and they could just have like battle royale like rules. Where, every woman comes in every 10 seconds. Yeah. Everybody goes over the road. The last two contestants in the ring, and they could just explained it, and it would have been like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. But they dropped the ball. They got a little confused, which wasn't the only thing that was confusing, which was the audio and the line jacking for the audio. But so I mean, like they were kind of confused on that, but. It was a good. It had potential. It was too fast, too sloppy. I didn't like. I always forget that guy's name. They came in as
Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, Johnny Bravo. It's literally called Johnny Bravo.
Which is
how's there not like copyright over that?
I don't know.
I'll tell you why. Johnny Bravo is technically a name that is not copyrighted in the sense you're thinking, because it's technically a name. Because if you were, I know I'm going to show my age here, but the Brady Bunch. There was an episode where Greg Brady became a persona called Johnny Bravo, which is like, 20, 30 years before the cartoon character. So it's a name, and because it's a name, you can use that to certain extents like they did here. Yeah. Is it stupid as all get out? Absolutely. But yeah, that's why. It's one of the legal loopholes, if you will.
Yeah, I didn't like him coming in as Ty. I didn't like him coming in as Rosemary. It just was like, it was unnecessary. I feel it was as off-putting as Santino coming back.
I was just about to say that. We're on the same link.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like it because if you're gonna say the women's have the best division, then you don't have a male in at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if you have the best women's division, you don't spend 30 seconds of a gauntlet match doing twerking.
You know what?
Oh.
She needs to disappear so hard. And I'm not a person that is into body shaming or anything like that.
No.
But when you're going to showcase talent and like in-ring performance, she can do whatever she wants for 2 seconds as she lays a girl out. Don't go in the middle of the ring and showcase some bull crap after you've been doing 6 to 8 weeks of amazing wrestling every Tuesday night with the women.
Mhm.
And then you get to a pay-per-view, and that's what made me so damn mad. Because I was ready. I was like, oh, it's going to be awesome. Kylie's going to win. I already knew she was going to win. I'm like, she's going to win because she's amazing and she's been putting in the effort every single week. And I was so mad by that because I don't know. There was so many. I was telling Jack, the way I said it was that it felt like they were writing for an audience that they knew tuned in because they hyped it up. So they didn't know where the crowd was coming from.
Yeah.
So they were putting all these storylines together to get whatever crowd came in from whatever venue.
Mm-hmm. And again, like it just goes back to what I said about first impressions. Like you're building up a show, you're bringing in all these people, you want to make a great first impression. And what you do is, in my opinion, like you keep doing what you're doing and bring the best out of your women. You don't have to like change your product or change like whatever character presentation you need to appeal to that audience. And chances are that like, okay, so I think the people who tune into Slammiversary tend to be like the people who are more open to like other wrestling promotions, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
In the sense where they'll go out of their way to tune into like other wrestling programs.
Yeah. But for me, like Maria said, this was just so dang sloppy. They were like I think it was Twerk City lady, whatever the heck her name is. Like she tried to throw someone through the ropes and the person like went like half a foot and then like hit the ropes. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to fall out. And then at the end, and this breaks my heart because I dig her a lot, Kylie tried to do a destroyer and literally fell flat on her back instead of hitting Taya on the head. And Matthews is like, she got destroyed. No, she didn't. And this is Kylie. And I love Kylie and everything.
She pretty clean. It was too much going on. I really wanted to see Sue come out. You know, I just really wanted to see that switch, that change. And maybe it would have came down to Taya, Sue, and then like Kylie, and then maybe she really wanted the belt, and then this side came out on her. But go ahead, Jack. I know you haven't said anything about the match. I know you had some thoughts.
Yeah. So my thing about this match is like I've been praising the Knockouts division. I've been saying it's better than NXT. They've done some amazing things during their weekly shows, and this was a disappointment for me. It kind of like betrayed what people were like that have been watching their show were used to. The use of Johnny Bravo, the way that they teased Susie turning into Sue Young again, and then they didn't do anything with it in Slammiversary. Like, I don't know, it was just, there was so many missed things. Like, they built up so much. Like, they built up Havoc and Avia versus Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan, and they didn't really spotlight that rivalry in this match. Taya and Rosemary versus Susie and Kylie, they didn't really highlight them in this match. It just became like a joke at times, especially with the 2 Johnny Bravo appearances. And there was some botches and some like things that really took the air out of it. And this was probably the most anticipated match of the night.
One of them. I go one of them because of a certain other women's match.
Yeah.
But
and here's the other thing too. So I admit that I'm not as versed on Impact as other people are, but the one thing I consistently hear about from friends, mutuals on Twitter, social media, whatever, the one thing I hear about all the time is that the women's division is really good. That is, I always hear about that.
Same.
I'm always hearing that there's a lot of talent, and I believe that. Like, I look at the roster of women who are with Impact, and oh my gosh, there's like so much talent. It's ridiculous. And again, you just want to hone in on that, you know?
Yeah.
I watched Taya Valkyrie when she was in Lucha Underground, and she was awesome. And, you know, Kylie, I saw her in the brief time with AEW, and then I saw her Beyond match with Orange Cassidy. And, you know, that was really awesome. And, you know, just those 2 alone, I know could carry a whole division. And then you throw in all this other talent that I've been hearing about, especially like Rosemary and Susie and Havoc and all of them. And even with the loss of Tessa, you know, they're still stacked. And then this is what they put out there. It was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So thank God for that other women's match that we'll be talking about soon. So,
But the one positive is that Kylie won.
yes, we can't. We get, but again,
Yeah.
Did she though?
She won.
Did she really?
She won this one.
Yeah, but yeah, enjoy it while you can. So,
all right. So we get into where am I at? Where am I? We did Moose. We
we just
that.
did the Gauntlet match. So
the Gauntlet match. I'm not really sure if it's was the North and Shamrock or if it was Mack.
I think it was the tag team match.
Was it the tag team match? Okay, because I'm like that was when I wasn't sure the order on. So it was the North versus Shamrock and Callihan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The North is amazing.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. I love the North.
Watching the North, I'm like, can you imagine the North versus FTR?
Oh my God, why'd you say that?
Oh
my God, now I really want this now. Impact AEW, collab it now.
Like, I want to talk a bit about what this match really did for me mentally. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a 30-year-old man. Yes, my fro is legendary. The rest of me, not so much. And so when I see Ken Shamrock, in whatever age he actually is, look 4 times more ripped than me, I felt inferior. And I mean, I already feel inferior, but seeing Ken Shamrock that ripped was scary because he's like jacked.
He was here, but was here?
No, he totally wasn't. Mentally, he was dead, as we'll talk about. But like him walking to the ring, and they even showed like the clips of his other matches, and I'm like, okay, Cam still got it. And then he comes out like looking like Wolverine from the Wolverine, you know, not the first X-Men appearance, but like, you know, all ripped and like chiseled. God, and then, you know, then you look at his face and he looks like an old man, and I'm like, I'm not sure how I feel about this. Like, this is not helping my self-confidence that this man is twice my age and 4 times as ripped. But match-wise, I have always said, and it doesn't matter if it's AEW, WWE, Impact, Lucha, whatever, I have never liked when you throw 2 people together to have a tag team title match.
Yeah.
Never liked it because it ruins half the point of being a tag team.
Yeah.
And but they're the bitter enemies who came together. That worked for the Bar because they slowly built them up to be tag team champions. All right. And then in contrast, when Rude and Ziggler got the belts, they won a tournament even though they had never won a tag team before, and then they won the belts. It's like, why? So I'm glad they didn't win. And during the match, as Maria kind of teased, Ken Shamrock was.
Yeah, there were some times I'm just like,
he's just like blank stared, and I swear he looked gassed, even though again he's ripped, chiseled, and all that. And he's like, there's a point where Sammy hits a move, and Ken's literally just like
he's clearly in good shape, like from looking at him, like I can tell he's been like keeping up and maintaining like his physique, you know.
Yeah,
but again, like I mentioned this before in our previous conversation with y'all, there's a certain art to tag team wrestling itself. Again, you just don't squash people together. You have to like actually physically train in tag team wrestling. Like it's a whole different mentality compared to competing in the singles.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's a yin and yang, and it's like sometimes you could really tell that they didn't mesh well together. And this was a kind of a weird match for me. They had some other people that could have gone against the North that would have been a little bit more of a showcase. You know, and once again, we'll get to it, but there's parts of this show where you would expect certain people to come out because it made more sense, but they didn't. It kind of came out at different times in the pay-per-view, and it didn't really, I mean, it was still a big, ooh, oh my God, this is happening, but it wasn't as big as it would have been if it was timed correctly or written better.
To go on with what you said, though, at this time, we already knew that the Good Brothers had signed with Impact.
Yeah.
So this would have been perfect for them to come out because the cat was out of the bag on that one. They weren't a surprise anymore. Everybody already knew they were signed.
Yeah.
So it would have saved this match if the North would have won. They would have been celebrating because they did talk about how they beat the Lucha Brothers. They talked about how they beat some of the best tag teams out there. And then the Good Brothers could have came out and could have been like, you know, you haven't beat us. Yeah. And then like, you know, show a legitimate threat coming to at them. You know?
And if they wanted to stack it just a little bit more, they could have foregone the Rascalz match. I know we all loved it, but they could have foregone the Rascalz match, brought in the Guns, have an absolute like 30-minute classic, then they barely beat the Guns, who are legends in Impact, and then the Good Brothers came out and go, oh, you beat Impact legends, we're worldwide legends. You know, we're one of the best in the world, and that could have totally sold either way. And again, we're going to get Guns now versus North on Impact this Tuesday, which I will be watching. I found out I have it on my TV. So, yay me.
You can also stream it on Twitch.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can watch it on Twitch.
Because that's how I watch Impact when, like, I feel like tuning into it. I'm definitely tuning into it on Tuesday.
There you go.
Slammiversary intrigued me enough, so.
Same here. So, but was there spots? Yes, there were spots that were good, and I like Callihan as a wrestler. He has, in my opinion, one of the most underrated great matches of all time in Lucha Underground when he faced Killshot Shane Strickland. So that was a great match, but it could have been better. Ken Shamrock again, just.
Yeah, it kind of killed a little bit for me. But we get into another good match. We get into Willie Mack versus Chris Bay.
Oh,
this was the match.
Yeah,
this was the match that I was looking the most forward to. And I love the women's match. We'll get to that. But I know Willie Mack, aka the Mack from Lucha Underground, and I heard nothing but great things from Chris Bay, including from Cody Rhodes when he said he wanted to sign him and failed. Nice job, Cody. But I thought these guys are incredibly talented. This can totally be awesome. Willie Mack is like a super lightweight heavyweight, as we've seen in certain other big men in AEW, which I'll make a joke about in a second. But I was like, this could be awesome if they just let them go. And that video package was totally weird. They didn't talk about Willie Mack at all outside. Like, oh, he's the champion going to Slammiversary. Well, no, duh, Sherlock. He's the champ. So the match was great. There was like one really odd botch near the end by Chris Bay, but I mean, you know, it does happen to the best of them.
Yeah.
But, Willie Mack is, oh dear gosh, he is so good. I mean, I don't know if he gets the credit he deserves, but he is so good. And then Don Callis made a call. He goes, we just saw a 6'4", like 200 and I don't know, like 50-pound man, 250-pound man do a standing moonsault. And I'm like, well, I saw a dinosaur do a shooting star press off a stage. So
yeah,
I'm just saying. But no, the match was great. If it wasn't for the women's match, the title match, it would have been my match of the night by far.
Yeah, no, I think Willie Mack is so underrated and I think underappreciated in the wrestling community. And hopefully now that a lot more people had eyes on Impact, they could see like how great he is, because we see a lot of people praise Keith Lee, but I think for me, Willie Mack is better. I'll probably get hate for this online for saying it, but I think
I'll back you on that. I mean, we love Keith Lee. I love Keith Lee too. Yeah. But Mack is dang.
Well, somebody said if Dusty knew Lucha, it would have been Willie Mack. Yeah, that's what they said. Like if he would have been like trained in Lucha, that he would have been like Willie Mack.
He would have loved Willie. Yeah. I guarantee, especially like the hair and the hair comb in his hair, like Dusty was like, it's like, man, that's so awesome. You got the comb in the hair. It's like, oh yeah. So
yeah, definitely.
Dusty, rest in peace.
One last thing that I gotta say before somebody else takes the spot. I just wanted to say, what we've been hearing a lot is all these ex Lucha Underground people like being praised. I'm like, what happened? How come there wasn't enough support for Lucha Underground?
Exactly.
Oh, I know what happened. Do you want to know?
Yeah, Ray Network.
Well, it wasn't just the network. It was the people literally doing everything. They had like a literal titanic shift of firing and rehiring to the point where Vampiro said that if they were to do a season 5, it would have to be a total reboot and just forget everything that happened the first 4 seasons. Add that between like the lawsuits between the various wrestlers like King Cuerno and ironically a certain jerk wrestler who made a 1-hour video recently, but him, Evilise, they were all suing to get out of their contracts. They weren't getting a lot of their stars back because you could see the turnover between seasons. It just snowballed into something that they just had to end, and I hated it. But that's what happens when you run a sloppy shop.
But yeah, if anybody wants to see good wrestling, go watch some Lucha Underground.
Yep.
Carl, any last thoughts on Mac? We good?
It was one of my favorite matches of the night.
Yeah.
Amazing talent. Like, I definitely thought that like this was more of the strong. It's like part of the, like, I don't know. I can speak English, but definitely one of the stronger moments of the show.
Yeah, it was so good.
It's not my match of the night. We're gonna talk about that next, but one of my favorite
Yes.
Yeah,
I was
easily.
expecting Johnny Swinger to come out and betray Bray.
So was I actually, because they set that up in the video package. I'm like, where's the swerve coming? And it didn't happen. I'm actually glad because sometimes you don't need a swerve.
Yeah, you don't.
We'll see what happens on Tuesday.
So then we get the women's title match: Jordynne Grace and Deonna Purrazzo. And she was amazing. They both were simply amazing. The athleticism between the two of them, the things we got to see Deonna do that we never got to see her do in the other brand, and just you could see the fire in her. I just took moments where I just watched her, and you could see like she was all this was pent up. All this was ready to come out, and it just was beautiful to be able to see her do these things, and to see at the end when she held up the belt and the confidence level she had, and just like I felt so good. I felt happy for her. Like when you don't even know somebody, but you generally feel like you deserve this because this is your art, this is your craft, this is what you wanted to do all your life, and you finally got the respect you deserve somewhere on a program, because God knows. And not even think twice about you somewhere else. So I'm very grateful for this match. It was a damn good match. It's like the match I would tell somebody, hey, if you don't know about Impact, you missed out on a good one. Go watch this one, because every Tuesday night they're going to have great women's matches.
Like this was the proof of their great women's division.
Yes, it was.
Absolutely. It's what the Gauntlet match, quote unquote, earlier should have been. Yeah. I'm especially proud of Deonna. I know she's been through a lot in the past year, and it's just so exciting, and I felt so happy just seeing her go out there and just knock it out of the ballpark. And I noticed that this is a common thing with a lot of the wrestlers that returned at Slammiversary. Like there's some sort of reignited passion and motivation to do really well, and we'll get more into that later, but so good. I love Jordynne Grace, but Deonna definitely deserved that one.
Yeah. Jack?
This was my match of the night too. When Deonna didn't sign with AEW, I was very disappointed. But then again, I'm like the AEW women's division still needs a lot of work before serious contenders could actually want to join that company. So I'm glad for her. I think that she could do a lot more in Impact right now and help her brand a lot more. I'm glad for her though, because in NXT they never took her serious, and the crowd kept on shouting Marty Scurll to her, like, and she was more than just like they just made it was the whole thing with Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green. Yeah.
No, they did Britt Baker. Remember when Britt Baker was in NXT and they said, "Oh, that's Adam Cole's girlfriend." Like a lot of women get this in the wrestling business. They just become whoever's girlfriend. And I felt bad for Deonna because I like seeing some of her indie stuff. I knew that she had a lot more to offer than what they actually showcased. And I think like Carl said, this reignited her passion and her love for the sport, and you could see it. And both her and Jordynne, like they gave it all in that ring and really did a good show out for the Knockouts division.
I was really looking forward to this match for various reasons. One, this is one of the few matches I've actually gotten to see of Jordynne Grace, even though I knew she was an incredibly capable wrestler. She was at All In, and she did that epic spot with Brian Cage in the over budget battle royal, that's what made me say like this woman is something. And then I heard she became champion. I was like, that's awesome. And I was like, this match has so much potential. And for Deonna, oh gosh, I saw her in the Mae Young Classic. I thought she's pretty cool, and she kept saying like, I'm the virtuosa of the armbar, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. That's something you can work with. And then nothing happened. They didn't give her the shot. They didn't give her the time of day. And then she goes to Impact, and in one segment where she puts the armbar on Jordynne Grace, I'm like, that's more important. That's better than everything she had done in NXT. And then that match was almost like a middle finger to certain Stanford Supermax, where it was just like, this is what you get to have. In my first title match, I proved exactly what I'm worth. And what I really liked about it was not just it, but even though I didn't like the commentary overall in the show, this match was on point because they were talking about how Deonna does shape up against Jorydanne, who again is thick mama pump, and she's like infinitely strong, but Deonna's a technical marvel. And if it doesn't matter who you are, if you have a good technical background, you can take anyone down. And that's what they showed. And they could have easily had Jorydanne, break her in half. They could have easily had Deonna take a quick win. But what did they do? They took the right way out. They had a long battle. They had to go back and forth, and Deonna didn't do her regular armbar. She did the double armbar and made her give up, making Jorydanne shout, "I give up! I give up!" And that's not something you would expect from Jordynne Grace, and that definitively proves that Deonna is someone worth taking seriously, which is something that Stanford Supermax, which I'm going to totally say from now on, never gave her the chance to do. And that's why I really love this match. And that's why I wrote the article for Beat 'em Up on this being the match of the night, because this killed.
I just like her this look of yes, bizaches, yes.
And if you would asked me to bet on who was gonna win, I would have picked Jorydanne. Because again, Deonna just came into Impact, and like it would have been a little rushed, but given how they did it, they told the story of
they did.
I am as good as I say I am. I am a virtuosa, and I just beat thick mama pump. And I'm like, respect, girl, respect.
2 points. This match made me sad that we never got a Becky versus Deonna match.
To dream.
The man versus the virtuosa.
Yeah, it would have been amazing. Both of them are armbar finishers. Like it would have been great. It would have been Becky passing the torch to the next, the next woman. And then the other point is, this is what AEW needed to do with Brian Cage. They needed the person that came in talking like, I'm the machine, I'm unstoppable. Just come in and take out the champion and make a statement. But they took the towel finish, which kind of like deflated that whole thing.
Well, we could
debatable.
I'm
biased right now.
I like the towel.
I'm very biased
because it saved Cage, because he didn't tap. Taz tapped for him, and it was different from the MJ. Oh, we're not doing this. This is to the main event.
All I know is if they bring in another third big guy and he gets squashed, there's a problem there.
I will agree with.
Hey, Brian Cage is still the FTW champion.
Yeah, he's still
he's the champion.
He's the best. He's the toughest SOB on the roster. So.
I'm sorry. I want to see Machine versus Machine. Oh, okay. Let's go back to the card. Okay.
You want to see Cage versus Schwarzenegger?
God.
No.
Get it?
Gotta be a third machine.
No.
Okay, Best Bout Machine.
Oh.
The real machine.
Yeah.
And then Brian Cage the machine?
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I definitely want
and
Cage.
A robot,
I definitely want Cage or Cage Kenny. That will be lit.
But somebody got to have a belt in that equation for me to be happy.
And Kenny has to be the cleaner.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Then Brian.
I didn't mention really quick. We didn't mention Heath. He got kids.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
Kids. Yeah, he got kids. He came back, y'all. He got kids.
Well,
and then he got kicked out.
Yeah.
He'll be back though. He'll be back. And that was another bad writing spot that I had. I'm like, he could have came out some other way. They could have even had like a 3-way match somewhere. If you're gonna throw in some things, they could have done something more with him.
Oh, I got it. Remember we were talking about the North.
Yeah.
Imagine Rhino coming out and say, "Hey, I heard you guys want to be a good tag team. I got a partner."
Yes.
Boom.
But it could have been just it could have been 3 tag team matches. 3 tag teams together in one match, and it still would have worked because it would have gave Heath the better kind of intro. I felt like, okay, going back to everything going up to this match, I felt like all their big announcements that were going to happen were lackluster. That was the issue I had.
Outside of the Guns, but yeah.
Outside of the Guns, because the Guns was like, that was spot on. That was point, took off. Good point.
But again, their tag team division is getting a lot better.
Yeah.
I agree.
We get into the Impact World Championship that was vacated. Tessa had that. So it was open. The challenges are against Eddie Edwards. We have Ace Austin, Trey, and Rich Swann. The mystery man that comes out was Eric Young.
No.
Was it?
The mystery man was Rich Swann.
Yeah,
we were like disappointing, and then Eric came out.
Because anybody that believed that for real, I didn't believe it. I was like, this isn't the guy.
Yeah, I was waiting for Rich to get attacked.
Nothing against Rich Swann, but no way you're hyping up the mystery person and you just bring out Rich Swann.
Yeah.
No,
infinitely talented, got screwed by WWE. And that was a good fake out, but I was waiting for him to get attacked, and then I'm waiting for the bell to ring, and I'm literally about to type. I'm literally like 3 digits away from hitting a tweet saying that was disappointing reveal, and then Eric Young comes out, and I'm like, much better.
Yeah.
But
So
like I said with
much better.
Deonna, Eric Young hit hard in that match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had
Was
something
that
to
one power
prove.
driver he did, and I'm just like,
Oh yeah.
wow.
Yeah, he had something to prove. Although I will question this match for one reason: the logic in some of what happened. The biggest one being Trey saving Ace Austin from getting pinned. This is an elimination match. Eddie Edwards has Ace Austin cold, and Trey saves him. And then what happens? He gets pinned 3 seconds later. It's like, you literally said you want to kill this guy, and you just let him stay in the match.
To
Why?
punish him.
But that's stupid. You can punish him by losing. Hey, you were the first one eliminated. Ah ha ha ha. And that didn't happen.
No.
That was like why? And even the announcers were like, why? And I'm like, exactly.
It was all a little haphazardly for me. I don't know. I felt like, I don't know. I just don't know how I felt about that. I don't know how I felt about the match. I felt like there was like the camera angles were kind of bad in this one too. They really didn't know who was going to do what. I felt like it was the gelling of everybody together. I think the women's gauntlet match was actually a little bit more gelled together than they were
Barely.
at points. Yeah, barely. And that's saying a lot. But yeah, no. And then, I'm just going to skip to my part. When the Good Brothers come out, there's a slip. He slipped. But yeah, I didn't expect them to come out after this match. I didn't really see the point of it.
Yeah, it was weird.
And then I also, then we get the EC3 thing real quick, and I didn't see the point of that either. I felt everybody kind of knew if he was going to go here or if he was going to go to AEW. Him coming out behind him, or the lights going black and he's just standing behind, what's his face, that one? Eddie Edwards. Yeah, if he would have came up behind him, that would have been something. If the Good Brothers would have came out during the tag match, that would have been something.
Well, I'll talk about that again, but I feel that there was a point to it that you missed. It was subtle, but you missed it. So I'll wait till the end, but go ahead and talk about the rest of the match.
Yeah, no, if it was that subtle for me, like I said, going off of like 6 to 8 weeks of knowing something that's going and hearing all these rumors and all these things and these payoffs, it felt like creatively they really, like, once again, they catered to an audience that they didn't know who was there. Like, here's the demos. Let's go with the demo, the demo god. Here's the demos, and they're like, oh, we really want to pull from this demo. We kind of want to make sure we get some from this demo, but we got to make sure we get this one too.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt like everything was going. The pay-per-view in its entirety up to this point, it still delivered. The men delivered. They were not delivering. There was good sportsmanship. They had a lot of good spots in there. And I'm cool with who won. I'm glad he won too. There's a lot of build up to what's going to happen after that. But yeah, I just felt that it was a little at the end. I was kind of
I get the yeah.
Kara, how about you?
Oh, Carl?
I thought it was like this is like the main event. Just to be sure, yeah. So I thought it was pretty good. Like, I didn't like it as much as the women's match or the X Division match, but I didn't mind who won. I think Eddie Edwards is great, So, it was just it was fine.
Jack?
All good.
So for me, I get why they gave it to Eddie Edwards. It's a feel-good moment, it's his comeback. Like he's getting back to the top. But I think they missed a chance to build a new star in Ace. I think that up until this moment, they were building him up to be this conniving, cheating kind of guy that was like sleazing his way to the top. And then to like not crown him just felt a little weird, especially since we got the EC3 reveal, which means he's probably going to be the next one up for that belt. It just felt like you could have built him up, and then you could have had a good storyline between him and EC, since EC is this angry guy right now. He's not really, he's been disrespected by the other company, so he's trying to get his name back. He's not really a heel right now. He's kind of like an in-betweener. I also felt like when the Good Brothers came out, it would have been a great time to actually make a faction with them and EC3. Like, they could have came out to back him for him to meet the new champion and kind of have the whole Impact roster on notice that there's a new team ready to run wild on the roster.
You've been warned. Yeah. So I had an interesting take on this match because outside of Rich Swann and obviously Eric Young, I didn't really know the other guys. I didn't know Trey from the Rascalz. I knew Eddie Edwards from when he won the first time because that was a big deal on the internet, and then I'd never heard of Ace Austin before, so I didn't know he was like in line to be the youngest Impact champion. So I kind of went into this with like a very open mind, and again, that the Trey elimination was really stupid, and then the Eric Young beating up Rich Swann, I felt that was a little too much.
Yeah.
Especially with, and I get it, Rich, you're trying to sell the injury, but stop screaming. Like it was like I know I told you guys this, but the lack of a crowd was so noticeable because they would have reacted much better than Rich did with all of his screaming, and then you know how they handled that, and then you know I did like the back and forth between Eddie and Ace at the end, with you know them kicking out of their finishers, especially when we saw the Fold win earlier on, but. I'm fine with the ending. Again, I don't know much about Eddie, but he is very much a heart and soul kind of guy with the Impact, so I'm fine with that. The Good Brothers entrance was weird because you could totally tell they weren't going to ally with Ace and that fake Lance Archer. So, yeah, I went there. But then again, he didn't look at the camera and laugh. Was he really a fake Lance Archer? But
Everybody dies.
Yeah, everybody dies. So everybody dies. But you know, then I was like 5 seconds away from being happy, like overall, because I'm like EC3's not coming. Like this is it. Like we're EC3 is going to AEW, and when I saw the 3 marks on the screen, I'm like, no, just don't show up, I'm begging you. And then he's there, and I'm like, dang it, we're so close. We're so close. Now, what I was talking about, Maria, was that you were wondering why they did it. Well, actually, it was Shaza McKenzie who quoted a tweet saying that this was kind of like a Marvel end credit sequence because the movie's over. Eddie's got the title. The Good Brothers got his back. And then what do you see? There's the sign. And what did he have in his hand? Think about it. What did he have in the hand?
Glass?
He had the glass of alcohol, which was in the teaser shots for the whole promo. It was it was him watching the newscast saying that a former world champion is coming, and he looked at the glass and he throws it against the wall and said, "I am basically saying I am not sitting at home anymore. I am back. I am not watching this. I am this. I am back." And that's how I read that. What's that word? Long-term storytelling.
Dad, or it was obvious he was going to be there, and then they dropped the ball.
Yeah, their whole night was about fake outs. I mean, the
whole time I was like, EC3's with Impact. What are y'all talking about? Because I'm just like, it's clearly him the whole time. And then I'm just like, is he not going to show up? Am I wrong? Because if I'm not wrong, then I swear to God, if he's number 3 to lose against Moxley, I might lose my stuff. And then he signed with Impact, and I'm like, you know what? But they need him. They do need him. They really need him to come back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, AEW gets to only take in so many people.
They
already had.
Is definitely more needed in Impact than he is in AEW.
I know, but I'm never gonna fault him for going back to where he really made his name, because people forget he was in NXT first. Then he got let go because of injuries. Then he made himself into Ethan Carter third, and like that's when he became the big thing. He came back. We all know what happened there, and so he returns to where he made his name. And I respect that, but I just really wanted him in AEW because it's like that's a new territory to try and dominate, to really establish that he can go anywhere and truly be a name. But you know, we'll see what happens. And he claims he's not with Impact. He's like he's something more. This is something new. Whatever you say. Okay.
Deonna supposedly is a free agent.
Yeah, Deonna has been confirmed to be pay per appearance. Even with her winning the title. So that means she could still go to AEW. The Good Brothers are official Impact and New Japan because they worked it out to where they can do both. Yeah. So no word on Heath Slater or Eric. I would imagine Eric is
Heath Slater said he's a free agent too.
Impact.
Yeah, free Slater.
He was wearing a shirt that literally said free agent, which you can get on ProWrestlingTees.com.
And then Mike and Maria Kanellis are said to go to ROH.
Yeah, that's a big rumor. So.
But yeah, we don't know how long it's going to be with these contracts or what's gonna happen, who's gonna join forces with who. There's a lot of unknown territories with the way the world is right now.
Yeah.
It would make sense for some of these people to join forces and to do things in a safe manner if they can, because I mean the fans would throw money at it. You know what I mean? So we can't throw money at them, in crowds. We could do it other ways though. But you can do it virtually with merchandise and all that.
Yeah, like buying these shirts from Pro Wrestling Tees.
They sold
Like-
out.
Yeah,
No, I'm saying shirts in general. Shirts in
yeah,
general.
I get that people want the AEW roster to grow, but I just want to say that I'm really glad that Impact is back on the scene, and now we have 3
Yeah.
companies to compete because
Well,
you know,
4
leagues
cloud in
now.
Japan.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying in America, American TV,
in the U.S.
like we actually have now real competition. Vinnie Mac's monopoly is done, and I think we could actually have some real competition finally happening.
Yeah, and for all the people who are out there like, oh, they want everyone to go to AEW. No, I don't. I was fighting with someone in AEW Discord. It's like, oh, everyone wants everyone to go to AEW. That would be stupid on an infinite amount of levels. Like I want certain wrestlers who especially been underappreciated, underutilized, not seen like a Darby Allin or a Jungle Boy, or an Orange Cassidy even, to go and really make their name, which is why I wanted EC3 there, because he did Impact. He made it. He was one of their biggest stars ever. And then he can go to AEW and said, I can dominate multiple brands. And, if Deonna went to AEW, that would have been great for the women's division. I want Taya to go to the AEW eventually, but she won't because she'll want to go with Johnny in WWE, which is her loss. But I want
I don't think she'll go to WWE, though.
Really? You don't think she'll go enjoy her husband?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. I mean no, it's not
I think
impossible.
I know plenty of wrestling couples do separate promotions,
Yeah, but a lot of them agree that it's hard, especially when it's easier now because most of them are in Florida. So it's like we're not really traveling anywhere, are we? But when the road hits and you're on one side of the country and they're on the other, that harms you. And
because
that's why a lot
still keep her. WWE will keep her in NXT, so she'll stay in Florida while he's still traveling. I don't think she would be main roster right away for them.
It just depends on how they work it, but as we all know, Vince likes blondes.
Yeah, but I think they would should be like the next Liv Morgan, where everybody expects so much from her, and they end up giving her crappy storylines.
I don't think anybody expected anything of Liv Morgan, but that's just me.
But people wanted her to be Sister Abigail. Everybody was super excited when she was coming back.
Yeah, I remember hearing that too.
I don't remember that.
I like Liv Morgan too. I think she's deserves more than what she's been getting.
A lot of those women deserve more than what they're getting.
Yeah.
If I had a chance to go back in time and do a promotion, I would have never chose WWE. Look at the way it is. You had to be in a box, in a shoe box, the smallest shoe box known to mankind, with the cliches stacked on top of cliches, to be anything that would be remotely be what they want to put on television without being a joke.
Yeah.
I wanted to do wrestling so much. I tried to get into wrestling school last year, and it fell through because of the school where it was bad. But my gimmick, I know that I could not do in WWE because they would try and trivialize it. They would try and make me a joke character. Whereas if I did the Indies or AEW or maybe even Impact, they would respect it because of what I was trying to achieve. Because I was honestly trying to do something different with my hero gimmick. And you can't do that with WWE because you can have the best gimmick in the world, and then they won't use it, or they'll try and trivialize it. Look at Lucha House Party. Gran Metalik is known as the king of the ropes, and he's now a joke. Lince Dorado is as a boss, and he's a joke. Kalisto and everyone.
I feel like it's our duty to go to the WWE headquarters and people like Rush. If you ever think about going to WWE, I feel like we have to pick it.
I don't think Rush would go.
No, I'm just saying, anybody else, because Andrade breaks my heart. Knowing that
Andrade's not happy.
Knowing that he's there and he can be what's behind your screensaver. It breaks my heart that he'll never get to be what we think, and just it's almost like I'm sad for Shinsuke, but if he's happy, then that's cool. But it's like Naito going and do something like.
Oh no, I hope
Naito.
Don't even joke about that.
Oh no!
But if it wasn't for Andrade, what they have over there in the Japan, it wouldn't be nothing. So it's just as bad. If you really think about it, but we don't know. But WWE people don't think about it in those terms, where it was such a stripping away of everything that was fine about Andrade.
Look at Finn Balor.
How about Ricochet?
Yeah.
He went off of, and I know he had bad times in Lucha Underground, but there's no doubt that helped elevate him to another even higher worldwide star. We all still talk about his match with Ospreay, and yet he gets jobbed out to Bork Laser in 1 minute and 43 seconds at Saudi Arabia. So like he is another I want to go to AEW because he will be appreciated there. He will be allowed to do 5-star matches there and not matches under 2 minutes.
I also just feel like just from hearing all these people who go to different companies like Impact, AEW, wherever, it seems like making it big in WWE is such a big risk because if you hit it big, you're set. Like you become this big mega star, you're main eventing all these pay-per-views and getting all these finances. But again, that depends if like you're lucky and if upper management likes you.
No. Vince likes you.
Vince, yes. Vince. And that goes for like a good, I want to say 10% of like the roster. And for everyone else, like if you don't match up to that, then you're going to find yourself treading in some dangerous water. You're better off going to Japan or Mexico or some other promotion to get some sort of success. It's literally
like the solar system. It's like this is like the huge ass sun that burns people. And we're all moving in rotation. If he sees you, cool, you're in the limelight. But if you're that small little shining star that's barely blinking, he might not even see you. You know what I mean? And that's the sad part because there's so many talented people, and that's why it goes full circle. Like I hate people hate on things that you like. I don't hate on products. I hate on the treatment of people.
Yes.
You can't be blind to the treatment of what people are going through or what people haven't been acknowledged of what they've done. Like I want the best for all the wrestlers and things like that, but I'm not going to stand behind a product when I see so many people come out of the product and then say the exact same thing that I've been saying about it.
Yeah. Someone talk as Jericho and just vent about the product.
Yeah, I know, right? Can we just go on Talk as Jericho? He would love us. Like, if I that Zoom call, I'm gonna just slide you guys in there with me. Like,
what's up, Jericho? No, if someone went to my Twitter tonight and they looked at all the stuff I wrote about Extreme Rules, they would think that I hate WWE with passion. I don't. I've been watching WWE since 2000 when my parents told me not to watch it, and there are some matches that are absolutely incredible that I will always remember. And I'm not just talking about NXT. I'm talking about pure WWE, like CM Punk Cena, which just had an anniversary, or the women's main event of WrestleMania, where we saw Becky and Charlotte and Ronda. That was so good. Or Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle and certain other ones that the two Michaels Undertaker matches. WWE can do some really good stuff. It's just they get in their own way and most of the time, especially in the last few years, and yet Vince McMahon, in his delusion, literally went on and said he thinks that the ratings are falling because Brock Lesnar's not there. Yeah. And he's like, oh, they're not used to the new stars. They're not new stars. You just haven't done anything with them. They've devoted how much time to that Lashley Lana stupidity instead of building up new stars? How much did they devote to Shane Fest versus building up the new stars? And even when Kevin Owens beat him, they kept bringing him back. It's like, this is why I'm a writer of comics. I published stuff and I have to read a lot of stuff to understand good writing, and I'm going to call out bad writing when I see it regardless of brand. And I've called out AEW a few times, and what WWE is now and what NXT has become recently is horrifying to me because I know it can be better. They do have some of the best talent in the world. They just don't use it properly, or they do these frustrating things like the eye for an eye match or the Asuka Sasha ending, the Swamp Thing match, or whatever you want to call it. And it breaks my heart because I know it can be more.
Yeah.
Get it? More?
They literally had 3 of the main pieces for the Bullet Club, one of the most popular factions out there, and they didn't do anything with them.
Yeah, Finn.
People think Kenny can do better in WWE.
Yeah, I made a joke that I literally did this as a joke.
Mess me with that. Come at me with that.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Mess me with that.
No, I made a joke. I made a joke before with my friends at 450 when the rumors about AEW was going on, and I'm like, you all know what's going to happen if Kenny was to go to WWE, and they go, what? And it's because here's how the meeting goes. Oh, Kenny, I'm so glad you're in WWE. It's like, well, thank you, Vince. I think I'm going to do really well here. I think you will too. I have a great idea for a storyline if I may pitch it for you. Oh, okay, I'm right. I'm listening. Me and AJ Styles. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Like, exactly. I'm thinking we slow burn it. You build us up to WrestleMania, maybe for a title. What? No, we're gonna put you as a tag team. What? You're gonna be called the Phenomenal Omegas. That's good stuff.
Book it.
Then Kenny sneezes and he gets dropped out for the rest of his time. And
you sneeze in my office. You're fired.
Can we get like a picture of Kenny with that ugly face, like right when he said that right now, when he sneezes, just
yeah.
But like, to get on a serious note though, like, because I see that piece of criticism all the time at him. But the thing is, how would you know if creative would have treated him well in the first place, though? Yeah. If you're going to say that Kenny would have been better in WWE, you also have to look at the other talent that have been misused, like Ricochet and all those other wrestlers. Who knows if he would have main evented WrestleMania? You don't know that. Okay, maybe he might have main evented WrestleMania once because of the buzz.
Yeah.
But outside of that, what else?
And the same with the Bucks. You're like, well, the Bucks would have ruled. It's like, okay, let's think about this. Let's even do a perfect world and say FTR is still there. All right. So, okay, they would have had a good match with the Usos, no doubt. New Day, totally. FTR remains to be seen. Who else is there? Like Miz and Morrison. Heavy machinery.
The Viking Experience.
The Viking Experience.
No, the Viking Experience more specifically.
Why did you say that name? Why did you say that name?
I think later on the roster as a tag team, so I had to say it.
Like
Street Profits.
That one might have been good. I won't lie. That one might have been good. But that's the same thing. And they wouldn't have fought all those teams all the time. You know, because they're on two different brands. They would have been on two different brands. And even if you say, well, what about they went on to NXT and did Undisputed Era? Fine.
That's it.
Who's out? Who's else? It's like Brazongo? You know?
But the Undisputed Era, to be honest, I don't think they're going to do anything with them. And if they call Adam Cole up, Vince is going to see how short Adam Cole really is, and he's going to use that against them.
Yeah, wasn't it Road Dogg who said if Adam Cole was built like Killer Kross, he would have been like a main event champion? I'm like, that's the most insulting thing ever.
Yep.
It's Adam Cole, baby. He dominated Japan, Ring of Honor, and, you know, it's been one of the biggest things in NXT since he got there, and you're saying he's bad because he's not built like Karrion Kross, and I said Killer originally, but Karrion Kross, who's done what exactly? Oh, he looks intimidating.
Sure. He's a good wrestler. He really is. But they still haven't really showcased him the way he should be yet in NXT either. No. That's a slow burn, and I don't know if that's him just trying to be creative. Like I hope he has that in his pocket.
He's gonna beat Keith Lee.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's transitional, I think, Keith Lee.
We'll see.
But
I think we should wrap this up, don't you think, Maria?
Yeah. So real quick, we did letter grades. Slammiversary going back. I'm gonna give it a B. I'm not gonna give it an A. I give it about B. Yeah, I give it a solid B. It was a good show. I liked it. I would probably still tell my friends to watch the women's matches and probably Willie, Mack, and Chris, and then of course the tag team match in the beginning. But everything else I was just like, eh. But yeah, to me it was a solid B. I'm looking forward to the build up they have with the Good Brothers and EC3. And Eric, so they got a lot of new talent, and it's going to be exciting to see what they're going to be doing in the next few weeks and the next pay-per-view. Jack?
I give it a B+. I think that the reveals of the people were a little underwhelming. If they would have done a little bit better with that, then I would have given it an A. It was entertaining, and I think it's revitalizing Impact for people to come in and watch it. So I think this is a good start for what Impact's going to be doing from now on.
Okay, Cara?
I'm also like Maria. I'm going to give it a solid B. I thought the matches were great. Not everything about the show was perfect to me. There were still some audio issues. But when the ring action was good, oh my God, it was amazing. And again, the matches of the nights that I mentioned with the X Division and Jordynne Grace versus Deonna Purazzo, those were fantastic. So yeah, B. Good job. I will be tuning in on Tuesday for Impact.
Todd?
I will round this out and say that I give it enough. Whoever heard of Impact Wrestling? That's not good. I'm just kidding. I give it a B. It totally met my expectations. There was a few duds, like the Gauntlet match, and the tag team match, the tag team title match wasn't as good as it could have been. But everything else, from the Guns showing why they're great, Mack and Bay, the women's title match, even the 5-way. While a little clunky at times, it worked. I did like the surprises. Most of the people got it right, but there were a few that they didn't, like Keith and the Guns. So I, too, will be tuning into Impact on Tuesday because I want to see where this goes. And if I'm back with Impact Wrestling, I will be grateful because this was the brand that helped reveal to me that there was a wider world of wrestling. This is where I learned about AJ and Joe and all of them. And I would love to see some of these wrestlers like Deonna, EC3, the Guns back, and them be appreciated. And that's what wrestling is really about these wrestlers getting to shine and be appreciated for what they do. So
whoop, whoop. That's a nice way to close that up. I like that. Love wrestlers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Uplift them up. Make them
Yeah.
shine.
Yeah.
Dust them off. Make them shine. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you guys next time. We might come back with some other reviews. Whatever.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. Maybe for
Okay.
Dynamite. I don't know. But till then, you'll see me and Jack on Beat 'em Up, and we have Caro and Todd, the AEW besties, friends for life. But yeah, we'll have everybody's description inside the bottom box underneath the video, so you can find all their amazing work that they do and all the rest of their podcasts. But we'll see you guys next time. Stay safe, stay healthy. Peace.
And
Drink
out.
water.